In the last class, we have discussed the pre-fertilization events. During that event, we have discussed first of all gametogenesis, how the formation of the male and the female gamete takes place, and then we have discussed about the transfer of the gamete that happens by the process of pollination. After that, we have discussed the pollinations are of two types, self and cross pollination. And what are the features of self-pollination and cross-pollination, where it takes place, what are the different pollinating agents, and what are the adaptations in the different flowers which pollinate through different pollinating agents. Now, after that, that means the formation of the male gamete and female gamete have taken place, and we know that both of them, they are immotile. Hence, there should be the transfer of the male gamete from the anther in the form of the pollen grain to the stigma of the female flower, so that the next event, that is the fertilizational event, takes place. So during that event, we will discuss how the process of fertilization takes place. All of us knows that the fertilization, what is fertilization? We know that the process of the fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete to form the zygote is known as fertilization. So how this process or this event takes place in case of the flowering plant, that we are going to discuss today. So for the process of fertilization, the first event that we have to take place is, first of all, we have to draw the diagram of the stigma part and the style. Right now we are not going to draw the complete diagram of it, but we are knowing this is the stigma, this one is style, and we know that the female gamete is present inside the ovary, which is present inside the ovule. Now, by the process of the pollination, the male gamete, that is the pollen grain, has reached to the site of stigma, and we know that the pollen grain is being surrounded by two layers. The inner layer is made up of intine, and the outer layer, that is made up of exine, which is made up of sporopollen. So outer one is exine and the inner layer is intine, and this is the structure of the pollen grain. We know that the exine is not a continuous layer, and at some places the exines are very thin or absent, which is known as the germ pore. So if here the exine is absent, this is the germ pore. Now, the male gamete or the pollen grain has reached by the process of pollination and is being received by the stigma. Now, the first step that will take place during the event of fertilization is pollen pistil interaction. So the first event is pollen pistil interaction. Now, what happens here during pollen pistil interaction? The pollen grain has come and it has fallen on the this stigma of the female flower. Now, there may be the chance that this pollen grain may be of the flower of the same species, or it may be of the flower of some different species. So, to recognize it, if the pollen is of the same species, then this stigma will accept it. Otherwise, if the pollen grain is of some other flower of different species, then this stigma is going to reject it. For this, the interaction is there in between the pollen grain and the stigma, that it is known as the pollen pistil interaction. Actually, there is a type of the chemical interaction by which they are going to recognize themselves. So the first point here is identification. nidification. Because of this chemical interaction between the pollen grain and stigma, if the stigma will recognize that the pollen grain is of the same species and is compatible, then it is going to accept it, and it help in the formation of the pollen. It help in the germination of the pollen tube here. Otherwise, if it is not going to accept it, then it will not allow the formation of the pollen tube. So this is the first step, pollen pistil interaction. Now after this, the second step is secretion of chemical by the stigma. After recognizing the pollen grain which is of the right type, the stigma start secreting a juicy material, or it starts producing a sugary material at the surface of this stigma, and this sugary material, it mainly consists of water and sugar. It mainly consists of water and sugar. Now, when this stigma secrete this sugary material here, this sugary material along with the water is being absorbed by the pollen grain through this germ pore, because at rest of the part the exine is there which is made up of a sporopollen, and that is not going to allow the entry or the exit of anything. So only one part is there which is very delicate structure, that is the germ pore. So through the germ pore, the absorption of this watery material will take place by the pollen grain. Now, when this pollen grain absorb this watery material, we know that inside the pollen grain there is a spindle shaped structure in which the generative cell is there, and this is the larger cell having the dense cytoplasm, and this is the vegetative cell, or we can say the tube cell. Now, after the absorption of this watery material by the pollen tube, the intine will start creating pressure. It will start swelling, but because of the presence of exine over it, it will not enlarge in size. As a result of which, what happens, only from this delicate structure which is the germ pore, now the formation of or germination of the pollen tube will take place. So after absorbing this sugary material, the pollen grain starts increasing, and because of the pressure from inside, the rupture will take place from here, and the formation of pollen tube will start. And now the third point is germination of pollen grain. So germination of pollen grain we have discussed, how it absorbs the watery material and it starts germinating and forming the pollen tube. Now after this, the fourth event is the formation of pollen tube. Now we have to draw this structure once again. If this is the stigma, this one is the style. Here, if this is the pollen grain, we have discussed that here the vegetative cell is there having the cytoplasm, and here inside the cell our generative cell is there. The outer covering is exine, and the place where this outer covering is absent, that is known as germ pore. And from here, what happened, the formation or the germination of the germ tube has taken place. In the meantime, what happened? This generative cell, it will undergo one mitotic division, and as a result of this mitotic division, this generative cell result into the formation of two male gametes. Here one generative cell is there having single nucleus. It divides mitotically and it leads to the formation of two male gametes. So now it leads to the formation of two male gametes. As the pollen tube formation takes place, now through this pollen tube, here is the first male gamete. After that, this is the second male gamete, which are formed by the mitotic division of the generative cell, and just behind them the cytoplasmic region, cytoplasm of the vegetative cell or the tube cell along with the nucleus, it start moving behind it. So it takes place here. Now, in the last class, we have discussed that the stigma may be of two types. Stigma may be of two types. In the first type of the stigma, it may be of hollow type, and the second type is that of the solid type of stigma. In case of hollow type of stigma, the only one layer is present from outside, that is of the epidermal cells, and this part is hollow, or we can say here the lumen is present. So in this case, when the pollen grain germinates and the formation of pollen tube takes place, it is not very difficult for it to form the pollen tube, and through the pollen tube, the two male gametes along with the cytoplasm and the what we can say here, the tube cells, they will start moving behind this. But the second case is that of the solid type of stigma, where we have seen that if it is the stigma, the outer covering is made up of epidermal cell, and in between the epidermal cell, the presence of the parenchymal cells are there, because of which it is solid in nature. So in this case, what happened? When the pollen grain germinates here, it will start forming the pollen tube and having the two male gametes, cytoplasm and the tube nucleus. But here, because of the availability of this parenchymal cell, it will create some pressure for it, and hence this pollen tube will start creating a push, and because of this push, it will start going in the downward direction. So because of the push, it will start going in the downward direction. But because of the presence of this parenchymal cell, they will again start creating the pressure, and there may be the chance that these male gamete and the vegetative nuclei that may move in the upward or the backward direction. For this, what happens here, if it is the two male gametes, cytoplasm and the vegetative nuclei, after that, after some time, this type of stigma forms a callose plug. Here it forms the callose plug. This plug is made up of the chemical that is known as callose plug, which prevents the backward movement of the content of the pollen tube. Now again, after some time, when it start moving, and again if it leads to the formation of the pollen tube in this way, again we have seen the male gamete will come here, the two male gamete will come here. again the cytoplasmic content and all. Here it will start forming the callus plug. Already one callus plug was formed there. So in this way, as the pollen tube formation takes place, after some interval of time, the formation of the callus plug will take place, which prevents the backward movement of the male gamete. So this we have discussed in the next step, that is the formation of the pollen tube. Now, in this way the formation of the pollen tube takes place. Now what happens after this? For this we have to draw the complete diagram. Now, the next event is the entry of male gametes into the embryo sac. For that, we have to draw the diagram, complete diagram of this. This is the stigma. This is the style, and this is the ovary. And we know that here, if this is the ovary wall, then attached to it with the help of the placenta, this is the funicle, and this is the body of the ovule, which is diintegument, means having two layers of integument inside it. This is the structure of ovary, this is the funicle, this is the body. And here inside it, we have already discussed that one of the nucellus cell, it will develop into megaspore mother cell, and which leads to the formation of the embryo sac. This is the structure of the female reproductive part. Here already we have discussed that if this is the pollen grain, it has start producing the pollen tube. The pollen tube formation takes place along with this style part. This is the style, this one is stigma. Now after reaching to the ovary part, now the question is, from where the pollen tube or the male gamete enters into the embryo sac. Before that, let's draw the structure. If this is the embryo sac, here, if this is the chaliceal end, here three cell structures having the antipodal cells are present. At the bottom, that is, if this is the micropylar end, there is a single enlarged egg. Along with it, the two synergid cells are present, and at the center we have seen the two nucleus, which are the pollen nuclei. They are available here. Here to this synergids, some fusiform cells are present there. These are the form cells or apparatus, fusiform apparatus. Now the pollen tube formation takes place. Now the question is, from which end the pollen tube will enter into the embryo sac, and how the process of the fertilization takes place. The answer is, in case of angiospermic plant, the pollen tube formation takes place and it will enter to the embryo sac through this micropylar end. Here it is having the two male gametes, cytoplasm and the vegetative nucleus. Now, after reaching to the micropylar end, how it enters into this egg apparatus or the embryo sac where the female gamete is present. After reaching here, what happened? One of the synergid cells of either of the side, it will start degenerating. For example, if this is the synergid cell that is going to degenerate, what happened? This will start degenerating. Now this fuliform apparatus, it shows the path for this pollen tube, and here the pollen tube after entering into it, the pollen tube ruptures, and let me draw it with the black colored structure. These two male gamete, they will enter into the embryo sac. After that, the process of fertilization takes place. Now, after entering into the embryo sac, what happened? The actual event of fertilization takes place. Fertilization, this is the next event. Now, what happened? After entering into the embryo sac, the first male gamete, which is having n number of chromosomes, it fuses with this egg, that is the female gamete egg, which is also having n number of chromosomes, and after fusion it will lead to the formation of the diploid cell that is known as zygote. So in the first step, the first male gamete fuses with the egg and it leads to the formation of the zygote, and this event is known as syngamy. So the first event of fertilization is syngamy. After that, what happens? We have already discussed the two male gametes are formed from the generative cell. The second male gamete, how many chromosomes are there? Again, it is also a haploid, so n number of chromosomes is there. After reaching to the central part, it fuses with the polar nuclei. At the central region, two nucleus are there. That's why we have written polar nuclei. Their number is also, they are also haploid. So n plus n, which makes it 2n. So the second male gamete, after entering to the central part of the embryo sac, fuses with the polar nuclei, and it will lead to the formation of primary endosperm. This primary endosperm, it is formed by the fusion of three nucleus, one of the male gamete and two of the polar nuclei. Hence, it results into the formation of the triploid nucleus, and that's why the second fusion is also known as triple fusion. In this way, we have discussed that during the process of fertilization, in case of angiospermic plant, the event of fertilization occurs twice. The first one is syngamy, during which the first male gamete fuses with the egg and leads to the formation of zygote. The fate of the zygote is, it is the future embryo. It is the future embryo. It leads to the formation of the embryo. And the second event is where the second male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei and it leads to the formation of primary endosperm. That's why this event is known as triple fusion. This primary endosperm is responsible for providing the nourishment to the growing embryo. So it provides nourishment to the growing embryo. So here we have seen how the fertilization takes place in case of plants. Here the whole process or the event of fertilization completes in two steps, the syngamy and triple fusion. Hence, in case of plants, the fertilization is also known as double fertilization. So these are the events which takes place during the fertilization event. Now, as a result of the fertilization event, the formation of zygote and the primary endosperm takes place. We know the zygote is the future embryo and the primary endosperm, it is responsible for providing the nourishment to the growing embryo. Now the next question is, as a result of it, we have discussed that here the formation of this zygote have taken place, which is having two N. Now it is called as zygote. And here we have discussed the formation of endosperm. Endosperm has taken place. Now what will happen after it? Which will develop first, the zygote or the endosperm? The answer is, first of all, the development of the endosperm takes place because it is going to provide the nourishment, and after it the development of the zygote takes place. But if no fertilization is going to be taking place, no need of having the development of the endosperm has taken place because no zygote has formed. So no embryo is going to be developed. So these are the things that we have discussed here. The different events we in short we can recall. First of all, pollen pistil interaction takes place. If the stigma will accept or recognize the pollen of the same type, then it will start producing the secretory material. Secretion of the chemical by the stigma takes place, and that chemical is being absorbed by the pollen grain, and it helps in the germination of the pollen grain to form pollen tube. So the formation of pollen tube takes place. Now, after the formation of the pollen tube, we have discussed the pollen tube will enter into the embryo sac through the micropylar end, and here the fusiform cells, they or the fusiform apparatus, they help in the entry of it inside it. After entering, the fertilization will take place. It occurs in two steps, syngamy and triple fusion. So in the next video, we will discuss the different events of post-fertilization. Thank you.